Joined by head coach James Franklin ahead of the season opener against Kent State. Coach, game week is finally here. What is that feeling like right now, knowing that you're going to be leading the team through the tunnel out on Beaver Stadium in front of the home fans for the first time?
I think it's exciting. Obviously since the season ended, flying back from Jacksonville, the focus has been on this week and doing everything we possibly can to get ready for it. So I know the assistant coaches, I know the players are really excited about the opportunity to go out and show our fans and alumni what we're about.
And looking backward a little bit, what have you been able to learn about the team so far in preseason?
Well, I just think we're just in a different position, so much more depth. Practices have been really, really competitive. And it's been exciting. We have a small senior class, I think the second smallest in all of FBS, but those guys have really stepped up big time for us. So very, very proud of how they're leading. You got 3 senior captains as well, which I think is important for us. I've been very proud of those guys.
And then speaking a little bit more about specifically the new offense that is in place, talk a little bit about what your anticipations are and what fans can expect on Saturday when they see that out there in full force.
Well, I don't think it's just a new offense. I think it's a combination. It's a combination of having a full complement of scholarship offensive linemen. I think it's the competition we have at that position. I think it's Saquon Barkley and the running backs that we feel really good about that unit. It's the development of our wide receivers. 2 years ago we were young and inexperienced at that position, and now you could make an argument one of the better groups in the Big Ten. And then obviously exciting mobile quarterbacks to complement what Coach Moorhead wants to do offensively. So I think it's a really nice blend. I think it should be fun to watch. It should be entertaining.
And speaking of the quarterbacks, you named Tress McSorely as the starting quarterback. What do you like about the way he carries himself on the field?
He just got a number of desirable traits. You're talking about a guy that really spends a lot of time studying the game and understanding the game. You're talking about a guy who's been a winner his whole life. You look at his record as a starting quarterback. You're talking about a guy that has really embraced the idea that we want to beat people with our minds, we want to beat people with our arms, but we also want to be able to beat people with our legs. And he has the ability to do all those things.
And after you made that announcement, how would you say the dynamic in practice changed, especially shifting into that game week mentality?
I think the media and the fans make that out more than what it is. I think for the most part, the team had a pretty good idea of what decision was going to be made, or they were comfortable with either decision, to be honest with you, between him and Tommy. So I think that's a dynamic that I think is made out more in the media than it is really in the locker room.
And then moving over to defense a little bit, you had some key departures to the NFL on the defensive line. What would you say is the personality of your new young defensive line?
Well, I think that's to be determined. I think in practice they've really embraced the opportunity and the challenge that they have. Parker Cothran obviously is one of the vets who's played a lot of football for us. Him and Sickles. So those 2 guys have done a great job embracing that role and then getting the young guys ready to go. Schwann's a guy that has had a off-season similar to a Nassib in terms of his approach. I think he learned a lot from Carl Nassib and how he approached the off-season and his training and taking care of his body and sleep and nutrition and things like that. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do as well.
And then focusing in on Saturday, what impresses you about Kent State and their style of play?
Well, I think whenever you play a MAC school and they're coming into your place, this is a huge opportunity for them. A smaller school with a chip on their shoulder. A great opportunity, obviously, to play in Beaver Stadium. I got a lot of respect for their head coach and their coordinators. They're very familiar with the Big Ten, very familiar with Penn State. So it should be interesting. Opening games are always challenging because you don't completely know what you're going to get. People have done off-season studies. And are tweaking things here or there. They've been really good on defense. That's the head coach's background. So we'll see. It should be exciting.
And then finally, we know the headline names, but who are some guys on the team that you're really expecting that might not be maybe a little bit more under the radar to have a really breakout season this year?
Well, I think probably as a unit, the area that I'm probably most excited about is on special teams. I think the depth that we have, a bunch of young guys that either redshirted or in complementary roles right now on offense and defense, stepping up. The competition we've had at punter and kicker has been really important. And then Yaz, his leadership as a senior long snapper for us, his leadership has been incredible as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.